Okay, now that we are able to record the key strikes and store all the key strikes in one variable so we can report it using one operation, whether we want to send it as an email or write it to a file, I want to cover one more thing before I cover the actual implementation of our report function. Now, as you can see, when stuff is being logged, you can see before each character, you see U. So when I was typing this, you can see that I have the T in here, then I have U, then I have the H, which is a character that I entered, then I have U again, and then I have I, then I have U again, and so on. And if I just go up, when we were printing stuff once at a line, you can see that for each character that's printed, there is a U before it. Now this is due to the way that we are printing the key variable in here. So what we could do, instead of printing the key as is, we can print the key.char, which is character. Now again, this is covered in the documentation of this module, so that's how I knew it. And now if we go back and run our code, so let me clear it first and run it. And let's type some code. So let's type Zaid. As you can see now, it looks much clearer than what it was. So it's showing me the characters as they are being entered on the keyboard properly without the U that was shown before each character. So that's perfect. But now we have a problem. Watch now what happens when I press a special key on my keyboard, like the space. As you can see, we get an error. And the problem is it's telling us that the key object has no attribute as char or character. Now, basically what Python is saying right now, because I am saying I want to print the key.character, it's telling me that the space does not contain any character. So I can't print you anything. Same goes when you press a tab or when you press up or down. Python is not going to know what to print. Therefore, we're going to wrap this in a try and except. So first of all, I'm going to say I want you to try to set the log to be equal to all of this. And I want you to accept. And let's go down and see what kind of error we need to accept. We need to accept an attribute error. And once this happens, I want the log to be equal to the log plus the str of the key. So this is exactly what we have previously. We're literally printing the key as is. Let's go and test this now. So let's type this is a test. And as you can see, this is working perfectly. It's not giving me any errors when I press a special key. So it's typing this properly. And then it's telling me that there is key.space pressed, then key.space pressed, and so on. Now same happens if I press a tab, if I press up or down, and so on. Now there is one problem. You can see that there is no spaces between them. So you can see that every time a special key is being logged, it's being logged directly after the keys that I was entering. So it will be nice if this was spaced out so that it's easier to read. And this is very easy to implement. So I'm going to kill my Python. And if we go up and just add a space in here and append it to my string, and then add a space after it. Now, if we go down and test this, and let's type some stuff. So let's type, this is a test. Now, this is very nice because you can see that even if I press now a few tabs, spaces, backspace, you can see that every time there's a special character, it puts a space and then it starts logging after that. So it's much more readable. Another thing that would improve readability is if instead of printing key.space when the space is logged, let's just print a normal space. So again, let's kill the Python program, and in here, because we know whenever the user enters or presses a special key like the space, the exception will be raised in here. And what we're going to say is, we're going to say if the key is equal to, and I don't know what to make it equal to, so I'm going to go down and I'm going to look at what the space is being logged as. And you can see that the space is being logged as this. So we're going to go up and say if the key is equal to key.space, then I want my log to be equal to log plus a space. And then we're going to say else. So if the pressed key is not a space, then just do the normal, which is just log the key as is. So let's go down again. Let's clear the screen and run the code. And let's type some stuff in here. So let's type, this is a test. And as you can see now, it's much nicer because instead of seeing a key.space for every time a space is entered, we can see a normal space between our text. So you can imagine your user type in normal text, and you know normal text contains a lot of spaces, then this will be much more readable, especially if you're logging chat messages or type in an email. Then if the user enters any special characters like tabs or enter, you can see that these will still be recorded and it's still very readable. Everything is being recorded in one variable, which is my log variable, and therefore now we can report this using one operation, whether it's a send operation, send email, or a write operation to write on disk, and the result that's going to be logged is going to be readable and easy to analyze. Now in the next lecture, we're going to cover the report function and see how we're going to report this.